Producer Marianne Lazarski talked with 4 student teachers who are about to graduate from Mount Mary University.
My academic hustle revolves around my hustle growing up on the south side of Milwaukee and not having a lot of people that grew up with a college diploma or like seeing them try to make ends meet.
I have a high school history teacher that I would like to appreciate. She's actually the only person in my life who ever told me that I'm going to be a teacher before I even thought to be a teacher. And I told her absolutely not. And look at me now.
I'm pursuing a graduate degree in orientation and mobility, which I would be working with blind children. And I grew that passion because my father's blind and like probably 80–90% of my family friends are as well.
The reason why I want to be a teacher is because growing up with this disability made it hard for me to think that I could be successful one day.
Ahora clase, vamos a hacer una práctica verbal, a verbal practice.
I am a student teacher in West Dallas for high school students, and I teach Spanish. I believe my philosophy of teaching centers around the idea of what I needed when I was younger. I needed like a direct face that I could look up to, a teacher that wore their hoop earrings or wore things that looked like Latino culture. Empathy is the biggest thing that is being lacked in terms of teaching from outside. What scares a lot of people, or like teaching in general, we get a lot of false connotations or like negative comments. Like sometimes they'll be like, oh, I would never do that. I would never teach. Or why are you doing that? I feel so bad for you. You know? So you get a lot of like comments like that. And I think it derives from fear of being spoken to by someone younger in a poor way, or the pay, or just fear of like not being appreciated the way that you're supposed to be.
I'm a first grade student teacher in New Berlin. I have a real passion for working with kids. I love to watch them learn and help them learn new things and watch them grow over the school year. Despite grade level, there's things that teachers experience in their jobs that it's just not comparable to any other field, really. Just realizing how much we are really with these kids all day, like 8 hours a day, typically. Like we're like the biggest influencers on like their lives for the most part.
I'm a student teacher in New Berlin and I teach 3rd grade. I kind of think it's scary. You know, it's like, oh, what am I getting myself into? Because like you hear all these things, you read about it online, and now that we're student teaching, we kind of experience all the stuff that is on the teacher's plate, but not even to their extent. So it definitely is nerve-wracking of, you know, what am I getting myself into? But then you have experiences with a kid where they'll write you a nice note, or they'll come up to you and give you a big hug, and it's like, wow, like, this is why I'm doing it.
I'm a student teacher in Milwaukee and I teach 2nd grade. I was working with like 2-year-olds, 1-year-olds, babies, you know, so it's like, they always came for me like for comfort, for anything, like any little thing that would come for me. So it's like, I was like already like kind of like comfortable with that already. So like going into like teaching, I'm like, okay, like I think I got this. Like, all right, I'll sit down, listen to you, like what's going on, you know what I mean? Because same thing for like the 2-year-old, like they wanted a hug. They wanted to sit in my lap and just talk or just play around, you know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like I'm pretty good, like just like, okay, I got it. Even though it's hard and overwhelming, because it's like, there's 33 that want the same thing, you know what I mean? So like, that's the hard part of it, but it's just like, making sure that at least you like have a little bit of time for each of your students.
If there's some solutions to this, you're gonna see a dramatic impact on students wanting to become teachers. Because like we all mentioned in different ways, people love and honor the education system and honor educators, but they fear the lack of pay, they fear the treatment, they fear the less liberty that they're gonna get. And I think that scares them off, and they end up settling for jobs that don't follow the direction their heart wants to take them, which is why they also end up in positions where they're like, I'm in this business office job, in this cubicle, and nothing is speaking to my heart, nothing is speaking to my drive as a person.
Lowering your class size, helping the support, having time within the day just for lesson planning, because not only when people look at teachers, they think, oh, well, they have the whole summer off. The whole summer is spent lesson planning, And then our days once we get out of school is grading papers, adjusting our lessons to what our class actually looks like. All this stuff where our job isn't the balance between a social life and work life, like there's no balance. We go to school to get in debt, but we do it because we want to be a teacher and not because we know our occupation is going to pay off that debt. So make it affordable for teachers to go to, to achieve that degree and not throw out their whole financial life.
I've heard several times about a lot of these problems before even pursuing a teaching career, and there's still no change, and I'm about to graduate college, you know what I'm saying? Like, this has been a thing for a very long time, and yeah, whoever we're speaking to, they're not hearing us.
I hope the support of teachers, it completely flips, and I hope it becomes something positive and we actually do move for change, because like when you think about it, the future of our country is in our hands. And so if we don't have enough teachers to really, build the future politicians and the people who are going to be continuing to help this country sustain itself, like it's only going to hurt all of us.
Those students also wanted to thank their professors at Mount Mary for all the guidance and support they received. We want to thank all our educators who shared their experiences and thoughts with us this past hour. Milwaukee PBS will continue focusing on education in all of our local programming. For more, find us at milwaukeepbs.org and on our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. Speaking of Teachers in Crisis.